So, as you may know, I have yet another car for you, which in this case is a Ford Explorer 2017. So, if you don't know too much about cars and you're considering a car like this one, I'll show you here some steps you can take and I'll give you some tips in order for you to kind of know what you're dealing with and if it's worth taking to a next step, which I suggest is take it to a mechanic so he can look at it further. But really here, right now, all you want to do is you want to know what you are dealing with. And first thing I suggest doing is looking at the exterior. Now for this step, make sure you have enough bright light, so don't go and look at the car at night, especially if it's a dark color like this one, and walk around it. Look at the paint, make sure it's clean enough at least. Look at the paint, take a careful look at the gaps between the doors, the bumpers and the panels. Now already I'm not too happy with the finish of the paint on this side. I can't be too sure that because it does look clean, but I can't be too sure it's not original. Sometimes the paint doesn't look good from factory. I'm not too happy yet, but we'll consider it later. Keep walking. Look at everything else. I'm pretty sure that the paint is original. It's just like it has an orange peel feel to it. However, it might be normal. Everything looks good. Next, look at the windshield. Now this one is a bit, there is snow on it, but you can also look from the inside, make sure it's not cracked, and looks good. Look at the tires, make sure you have enough tread, which we do. Look at the mags, make sure there's no major damage on them. Looks good, and they all look good. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the exterior has been checked. Next is the engine. For that test, start the car and listen. Not to the radio, to the engine. The exhaust seems okay, there is no leaks. Fume coming out from the exhaust looks great. It's the normal color in winter. Usually in summer you're not supposed to see them at all. Here everything looks alright. Open the hood and listen. It sounds very smooth. There is no fume around the engine, and it doesn't seem like it's leaking anything on the floor. So while you have the hood open, take a careful look at the bolts and the plastic clips. In this case, everything looks alright and everything looks like they belong here. I have no complaints except for the hole in the bumper over here, which I'm not sure it's original. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the engine has been checked. Next is the interior condition. Start with the doors. Check the panels, make sure everything is clean. The seats, steering wheel, everything looks right. Seat belt, seat belt could indicate accident and repair, but in this case they're clean, they look original, nothing to say. The back, clean. The trunk, 7th place. Everything looks all right all around, so that's good. Try the windows, make sure they all work. In this case we don't have a sunroof, but if you did, you would check it out. Test the windshield wipers. Work. The one in the back doesn't work. The one in the back seems like they don't work, and they even seem loose. Sometimes in winter people knock it off with the shovel when trying to remove the snow. It could be the reason why it's broken. I think this car comes with a rear view camera, and it does. It's a bit dirty, but it works. Test the radio, we know it works. What else? The heating system. Now the only problem is in winter you cannot test the AC system, because even if it's working, even if you put it on, it already senses that the car is cold, so it sometimes won't even try to turn on the compressor. So you won't have any way to test it unless you ask your mechanic to check it out for you. With that, I will go ahead and say that the interior has been checked. Next is the test drive. For this test, make sure you have time to test the car properly. Take it in city, test the brake. Take it on the highway, test the stability. Make sure you at least drive the car long enough for it to heat up to a normal operating temperature. In this case, it will be shown. It's not shown. Okay. Anyway, if the seller insists on coming with you, make sure they remain as much quiet as possible so you can focus on any small sounds. Also make sure the radio is turned off so it doesn't hide any sound that you could hear while driving. In this case, car drives amazing. I really have nothing to say about it. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the test drive has been checked. Next is the mileage. Now you've driven the car, you've walked around the car, you've checked everything. You should start to have a good idea about how much this car should have been driven. Now in this case it says 48,000. It seems a bit low for a 2017 car. I have nothing. I have nothing to say against it. So I believe it. It could be right. With that, I will go ahead and say that the mileage has been checked. Over here. Next is the VIN. Now you really don't want to end up buying a car that has been stolen and cloned. So in order to make sure your car is genuine, locate the VIN plate on the driver's side. Try and remove it with your hands. You should not be able to do so. If it's too easy and if it feels like a sticker, then you most probably are dealing with a cloned car. In this case, it's good, hopefully. So check the VIN, take it, compare it with the one under the windshield. It's just somewhere over here. Make sure this one also doesn't look like it has been tampered with. And interesting thing with the Ford Sync app, you can go into options, general, look at the sync information, and it will actually give you the VIN. So that's cool. Make sure it matches everything else. With that, I will go ahead and say that the VIN has been checked. Last thing is the cluster lights. Now for this test, turn off the car and turn it back on accessory mode. So you don't want to start the car. If you have a push start, you only press once or twice without putting your feet on the brake pedal. You don't want the car to start, you just want to see all the lights. So here I have the check engine, ABS, I have the traction control, everything important seems there, the battery light. And when I turn on the car, everything turns off, which indicates to me that all the lights works. Now sometimes what people will do is they will remove the cluster, break the LED light behind each symbol, and in order for it not to light up. And in this case everything seems alright. The cluster does not seem like it has been tampered with, so that's good. I'll go ahead and say that the cluster has been checked. In this case, I haven't found anything wrong about this car. Now, I would prefer have more options like the sunroof and the leather seats. This car also comes with the 4-cylinder option. This one was a 3.5 liter 6 cylinders. I would check it out first, but if I was happy with this car and the offer of it on it, I would go for it. It looks like a very good car. I've just noticed something odd. All these traces of what it seems like it's oil are coming from the Ford Explorer. So it appears like it has been leaking something from the engine. That's definitely something we have to think about. Now, knowing that, I probably would skip, no matter what the price of the car is. It could be something so simple as an oil change done wrong. Maybe the filter or the bolt is not tightened properly. However, I haven't bought the car yet, I haven't paid for it yet, and I don't want to. Now, don't forget before you go and see the car that you can always Google and ask the most common problems on the car you're looking at. In this case, for example, we have exhaust fume in cabin, we have back windows shattering, premature wear on the tires. Anyway, all kind of things that you can check out during your test. In this case, the tires were good. They were actually new, so I don't know if the previous one were worn too badly and too prematurely, I don't know. Exhaust fume in cabin, that's for sure. There are no fume in the cabin, so that's good. And so what I mean is, make sure you do your homework before going and check out any car. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video was helpful, and well, good luck with your purchases.